Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in live from Paparoa Park for the final round of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership regular season. And we're going to kick things straight off with head coach of the Howick Hornets, Sean Clark. Well, Sean, a narrow loss last week, but the big storyline to come out of it, probably your injury toll. Talk us through some of the troops you got missing today.
Yeah, we had a few backs go down last week, which you can't write a script for. We had Ants go down with a concussion, Jordan Papa. Paulos broke his jaw, and also we had Jesse Kevin pop his shoulder and went straight back in.
It means you've got a vastly different looking squad today, a few boys who you've brought up from the reserves, but you're fairly confident that the work you've done throughout the year means that should be a relatively seamless transition today?
Yeah, like I said all year, we're not relying on the 17 players that we have week in, week out. We've got a squad, and we train together, we do everything together. So they'll fit in seeming, pretty good, I reckon. And it'll take good effort from all 17. We're not going to rely on the 13 that are starting.
Worked very hard to defend the route for most of the year after wrestling it off Mount Albert, I think, way back in the early part of the year. How important is it to you today that you hold on to that and finish the year with it?
That'll be a bonus. We're under no illusions. Mount Albert's coming to take it back. But we've undefeated here all year, so we want to keep that stature alive. But yeah, like you said, a few injuries, so we're looking for a big game from all 17 again, like I said. But to be undefeated all year, keep the root, another trophy in the cabinet. But our bigger pictures, in a few weeks, Corey.
Absolutely. And looking at this Mount Albert side, a fairly well settled side for them, although they have a couple of injuries themselves. You've played them once or twice already this year. What are you expecting from them in terms of their style today?
Look, they got a big forward pack. They'll take it to us up the middle. Got halves that are dynamic, and Aidan Ackland, he's a classy player. So we do really need to watch him today again. He scored a good try against us last time, and we'll be watching him closely.
With Jethro Friend out, obviously you miss a lot at dummy half there, but I guess you're in a blessed position leadership-wise. Tony Tuia takes the captain's armband today, and you don't really lose anything in that department.
We don't lose anything in terms of a captain. We've got 17 captains. Everyone wants to be a captain. But Tony's definitely been a leader, and he's co-captain right through with Jeffro. And we've missed both of them this year, and boys have stepped up and taken that armband. We're missing Nick again today. He's away with a funeral, so condolences go out to Nick and his family. So Tony will take out the captaincy with our vice captain will be Carlos Watini today.
And before we wrap up, congratulations are in order. Obviously wrapped up the Rukatai Shield last week as minor premiers. He goes in the cabinet with the Root Rooster for now, and the Nines Trophy. You must be really happy to have some silverware there, and really it's one of the better years the club's enjoyed at this level.
Yeah, like I said, those trophies are a bonus, but we all said on Tuesday, we had a meeting and sat down and, reflected on the year we've had. Those are all good, but, if we don't win the big one, then, they're only minor trophies for us. We're actually looking for that Fox, as you're well aware, and everyone in the comp's looking for. So to have those is, a real bonus, and the club's a real buzz, and they're talking about those trophies, but everyone is under no illusions that we're here for the Fox. So we're coming. We're coming.
There you go. Well said, Sean. It's a big 3 weeks coming up, so we're going to let you go now, Sean. But on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, thank you for joining us, and all the best for what I say is a huge month coming up for you.
Yeah, thanks, Corey.
You got to believe. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Hardy with the Auckland Rugby League, with the chairman of the Howick Hornets, and we're changing up the program just a little bit, mate, as we're locating the other head coach for Mount Albert Lions, who are being hosted by Hornets today. And massive season, mate. Big day today, Roop, and the Rukatai Shield. What's it meant to the club?
Oh man, it's been a huge year for us. I mean, obviously for the last few years we've been really banging on the door, and we've tried really hard. I think, you know, the stars are aligned and things are just working out a lot better for us. Injuries is a big thing for any club, but and having depth, and as I can see with the reserves, depth is critical, and we're going real well right across the park, right across the club. So fantastic year for the club. Pretty excited.
What's the vibe like inside the club? You know, this is a great opportunity for you guys to take the triple. I know that you've had Fox, and I know you've had Rukatai Shield, but and if my memory is any good, because it's getting old now, then you've also got the Nines trophy at the moment. So really, you could do the quadtuplet.
Yeah, we've got another special trophy. The Auckland Referees Association awarded us Best and Fairest Club for 2018. So now, look, mate, I'm on cloud nine. I mean, we would really like to have all those trophies. We're very aware that Mount Albert are a team that's in form.
Side,
yeah, and you know, this is 1v2 today, so we're taking this really seriously. And the Roop is something that's very important to us. It's a grand old trophy, and if we can secure that today, that's our main goal. I think. Obviously, I'm not trying to talk myself up, but having the Rukatai in the bag, that is something that we've worked all season for. But today it's the Roop, so secure that, and then we go into finals, you know, feeling like we're ready to go. So, yeah.
So, you know, Rukatai are in the bag, as you said, Roop up for grabs, and, you know, and eye on the big prize.
Yeah.
You know, the last couple of seasons we've been the bridesmaid, I'd say, and there's a little bit of hurt around the club. You know, and that's probably going to fuel a wee bit of passion coming into this year's grand final, eyeing the big prize. You know, what's the feeling?
Well, if anyone who's followed what's happened the last couple of years, Point Chev have dealt us a couple of savage blows in the last couple of minutes of games and major semi-finals. We feel we've got the goods. We always have felt we've got the goods to go all the way, and if we'd made the grand final, we would have played for everything. And you know, so I think those guys, the players just telling me they love me. I don't know about that, but like, you know, all that effort over those years, you know, this isn't just a chance thing, you know. Like, there's a lot of effort, a lot of desire, and that hurt, like you say, it hangs around, and it's been talked about a bit, and we're all been honest with each other, and we'd dearly love to go all the way. It's footy, mate. We're privileged people to be able to play, but yeah, mate, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it well, eh?
Yeah, so, absolutely. And look, one of the great things around rugby league, and you're, you know, the epitome of some of this, is that we arrived here about 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And the chairman's down here opening up, getting the cones, you're brushing out the toilets, you're getting set. You know, I mean, it's a big part of the day.
Yeah.
And this stuff just doesn't unfold. What drives your passion?
Oh, mate, it's a simple thing, you know. I'm a family man. I've got 3 boys. Their aspiration is to grow up one day. Hopefully, they've told me they want to, and play for the Hornets all their lives. I want there to be that good club thing going right through for them. And I guess I'm one of those kind of guys that likes to do the best, you know. So if I'm going to do something, like I said, with the footy, you might as well give it heaps, you know, and try and do the best you can. And if everyone turns up to Hornets Nest and they think, wow, yeah, these guys have got it all going on, it doesn't just happen. There's no magic dust that's thrown up in the air and it all happens. There's people that work really hard, and you know, I guess a lot of people follow what some of us set, you know, the standard we set, and then they love it, you know. So
cool.
Into it.
All right, mate. Look, finally, look, I know you're busy because, you know, you're spending time with me now, and I had to pull you off.
I always got time for you, mate. Yeah.
I had to pull you off running the line to, you know, get you here. Is what can the club, you know, expect tonight if there's somebody in the region or around about town, you know, wants to come down here and you know, head up to the club? What's going on tonight after the match?
Oh, mate, look, we always just have a great time, you know. Like I say, it's a family club, so it's a safe environment here. The kids play footy till midnight if they could. We turn the lights on for them, and we have a few beers, and we have an amazing feed. That's one of our committee members.
Yeah.
The whole family, Marie, just cooked the house down, so everyone has a great time, and that's what it's all about. You know, sharing your day with each other, and enjoying yourselves. That's what we do the same, mate.
That's the one.
Yeah,
absolutely. And look, last to sign off with is, you know, you guys have worked really, really hard with your sponsorship packages this year. Let's give a big shout out to, you know, a couple of your big players and who you want to share love with in regards to today's match, being you know, the last of the round in the SAS Fox Memorial.
Well, putting me on the spot. I can't rattle off every single sponsor, but like definitely our main sponsors, Progressive, sometimes known as Program Scaffolding.
Yep,
They had a name
yep.
change halfway through there, but you can get in touch with us if you want to know what the real name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a great support, and obviously BSR and PIC and McCamish Metals and also SDS. They've really helped us out as our major sponsors, and we're really stoked. And BSR, Brad Robertson Concrete, he's always here. He's being hosted today. That's one thing, we host our sponsors. They're having a great time up there. And without sponsors, it's just that a little bit harder. So we're blessed. We work hard for it, but we're blessed. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. And look, in today's match, I know you got 10 guys down.
Yeah, it was a
that's-
battle of attrition last week against Point Chev.
Yeah.
I think if they felt like they were struggling to make the top four, then the best they could do was maybe to remind us who they really are. And we got punished a little bit, but I'd like to say, like with the depth there, I'm hoping that we can bounce out of that and go well. So full credit to Point Chev and full credit to us for being able to keep fielding competitive teams. Yeah.
Okay, a lot of credit there, mate. Well done. He's winking at me. He's winking at me.
The most credit goes to this fella.
We got 10 guys down at the Hornets' Nest.
Yeah.
Is there any truth in the fact that the Hornets are viewed as the team that's the bogey side to Mount Albert? Do you think you're going to win today?
We always think we're going to win, and I think Mount Albert know that it's a tough place to play here. We set sort of a scene in motion by when we went over there in the beginning of the season.
Right.
We took the root rooster off them, and last minutes of the game, amazing try that sealed it, and I think they would be hurting, but they're coming here with they'll be coming here with all guns blazing, and we're ready because this is the Hornets' Nest, mate. This is where we protect your patch, mate.
Okay, well, listen, on behalf of the ARL, thanks very much for hosting us today down here at the Hornets' Nest. A very special welcome in to the Lions Den fans who have just been watching Dan here talk about, the big build-up for today's match. And Daniel Sifawifa down there, I know, is going to put 3 free jugs up for the first 3 at the bar down there at Mount Albert, so get into that one. Don't go too far away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back live with the action as we throw to the field now to catch some of the football of the reserves match.
Good luck, everyone. Vertically. Vertical. Do you want me to see if I can find John? He's not even over here. Hey, John's not even over there.
Welcome in everyone, live from Paparoa Park for the final round of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. It's been a long season. We've gone through the qualifiers and now into the competition proper, and the playoffs are just around the corner. Joined in commentary, as always, by Troy Hardy, who will pop up in just a second. But you can see on screen the Howick Hornets now going through their final warm-ups. It will be a vastly different looking Howick Hornets team today. Number of injuries that they picked up in the loss to Point Chevalier last week. We'll go through the team list in a couple of moments' time. We'll bring Troy in now and look ahead to what is a huge game. And Troy, I know you've got some thoughts on this rivalry, and I think you said you've been covering this for 4 or 5 years now, and you're yet to see a Mount Albert victory here. This is a really good derby that both teams love getting up for.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's one of those things, been fortunate to have conversations with Junior, the head trainer at Mount Albert Lions, and he'll probably give me a rev later on in the piece. And to all the fans at Mount Albert down there at Fowles Park, welcome into the live stream. We talk about a bogey team, and Howick seems to have been the bogey team over those 4 or 5 seasons that we've managed to either live stream or, turn up for the match on. And as you've rightly said, Howick's come away with the fruit at the end of each of those games. Today, however, is, going to be probably a different kettle of fish, even though we're at home, having, I think you said 9, 10 changes for the Howick side. They'll be a wee bit under pressure, but they are at home, so they'll keep them in good stead. And Mount Albert, haven't they been wonderful to watch this year? One of the games we did down at Fowles Park when they were up against Otahu, even though the result didn't go the way of the Lions that day, it was probably one of the best games that we filmed this year. Yeah,
they're a really entertaining team to watch, aren't they? And, personally loving watching Aidan Ackland. We've been fortunate to, I guess, watch Aidan sort of come through the grades as a teenager. His stuff he did with the Warriors as well, and just playing brilliant football. And it's great to see, intelligent young playmakers coming through the Auckland system. And he gets out there, he just seems so in control. And the other one I've really enjoyed watching this year, Big Salah Falilua Malio.
Hasn't he done a ton load of work, massive minutes. He's been an absolutely outstanding player for them. And, as far as young Ackland is concerned, he's gifted with Marie Ackland's DNA, so well blessed.
So to start our build-up, we're going to take a look at the second division, the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. And really, across Auckland, there are big games going on everywhere today. We'll start with Bay Roskill Papakura. That's a big game for Bay Roskill in particular. They're struggling to hold on to a top 4 spot as it stands and have to take on the top of the table Sea Eagles. Manurewa take on Pukekohe. Pukekohe need a victory to be a chance of going through. Te Aratu still not technically assured of a spot either. They take on the Hibiscus Coast. And the big one, Ellerslie versus Richmond. Ellerslie need a win and then to rely on both Bay Roskill and Pukekohe losing, and they will be through. So there are plenty of calculations going on around the place, but the basic scenario for Ellerslie is they have to win to start with and then hope that other results go their way. And similar story really for some of the other teams in the mix for that one as well. It's far too complicated to get into. But we'll bring you updates throughout as we go along. Of course, I guess the thing with having such a congested, short competition this year and the competition proper, Troy, is it was always going to end up with a very close ladder come this time.
Yeah, how good's the format been? There's just been so much focus, attention, love, passion, whether in the mid-8s or the top 8s. And even in the SAS Fox Memorial, the top 4 has been changing every week for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and you just can't afford to drop a game.
So looking at results from last week, Richmond big winners 64-28 over Hibiscus Coast. Te Aratu got up 36-8 over Bay Roskill. Pukekohe got up 28-16 over the Ellerslie Eagles. That was our live streamed game. And Papakura 30-24 winners over Manurewa. So we'll bring up the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship ladder now. And you can see on screen it is the Papakura Sea Eagles who sit at the top, followed by the Te Aratu Roosters. Richmond tucked in 3rd position right now, but they are still technically at risk of dropping out along with Bay Roskill. And then it's the 2 challengers, Pukekohe and Ellerslie, both of them still a chance. Manurewa and Hibiscus Coast sitting down at the bottom, but couldn't really ask for much more, could you? Papakura, the only team that's safe heading into the final round, and then from positions 2 to 6, all in the mix, potentially dropping in or out. It's been a hell of a competition.
Oh, it has been. It's definitely wide open. As you sort of alluded to, the Ellerslie match against Richmond, I think originally that was at home at the Eagles Nest, but due to council closures on grounds, Ellerslie are away to the Richmond Dog Pound, and they're going to find that a tough day in the office down there, though very fortunate and lucky to speak to their head coach this morning, and he seems very positive, he seems very upbeat. So it'll be interesting to see how they travel.
Moving our attention now to the First Division, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Mount Albert did it easy against Marist, 62-0. Similar story for the Glenora Bears, 64-4 winners over Northcote. Point Chevalier got up in a thriller over the Howick Hornets. Howick were pretty much left without a backline by half-time in that match and had to make do with forwards filling into the backline positions. It was 18-14 in the end, a huge win for the Pirates, which keeps their playoff hopes alive. And Otahu got up 42-30 over the Mangere East Hawks, and Mangere East, there's no hiding the fact that I'm sure Richie Blackmore will be pretty disappointed with the way things have gone this year, but the plus for him, he's got one of the most talented young sides in the competition, and I think the only way is up for the Mangere East Hawks. Looking at the games on this weekend, Otahu take on Point Chevalier. That'll be a good game. Otahu really gave it to Point Chevalier in the qualifiers, and I think it was 16-all at halftime. They ended up winning by 20-odd points, so that'll be a big match, and I'm sure Point Chevalier will be up for it. They've got everything to play for. Northcote play the Marist Saints. Glenora Bears take on the Mangere East Hawks, and of course our match here today, Howick Hornets up against the Mount Albert Lions. We'll bring up the ladder now for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. And at the top is the minor premiers. It's all confirmed. They'll receive the Rukatai Shield today. The Howick Hornets, what a brilliant year it has been for them. They've only dropped, I think it's 3 games. It's been an excellent season, and well done to Coach Sean Clark, and we'll talk to that throughout the commentary as well. The Mount Albert Lions just sort of hung in there, haven't they, and have remained in the mix, picked up some big victories along the way, and namely the one that jumps out to me, the one over Point Chevalier a fortnight ago, where I think they were down at half-time, came back. That has not only kept them in the mix, but all of a sudden they emerge as a real title threat.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from John Ackland, really astute, and certainly managed to, make these boys perform. And I think, too, the other hidden gem for the Mount Albert Lions is Fowles Park. How good's that number 1 field down there? And, in my view, it's like the 14th player. Every team that's gone to Fowles Park and been, fortunate enough to play on that field, 80% synthetic, 20%, real grass. It's a fast track, it's hard, and that Mount Albert team certainly know how to get around it at 100 miles an hour for 80 minutes. So, hats off.
So let's talk to the ladder and some of the weird and wonderful things that could happen by the end of the day. One thing we know is clear. The Howick Hornets will finish first, and they will have the second chance semi-final last week. The winner of that one will go directly through to the grand final. That's really the big prize that everyone's chasing right now. You want to avoid that elimination semi. But from there, Mount Albert, Northcote and Glenora could all potentially drop out if other results don't go their way. So one of those 3 teams, I should say, potentially drop out of the finals. And Point Chevalier, they need a victory and then probably need some other results to go their way, namely Northcote and Glenora to go down. But there is a world where the Mount Albert Lions could end up in 5th, but it would require a huge victory from Point Chevalier to reverse that differential. So it's very congested. We'll do our best to talk to it as we go through. And then at the bottom end, Otahu, Marist and Mangere East. They are all out of the reckoning, but they'll have plenty to play for today. And one thing about those clubs who aren't in the mix to play in the playoffs, they'd love nothing more than to throw a spanner in the works here and just really upset things with a round to play. They'll take a little bit of sadistic joy out of that, I dare say.
Oh, look, every single team, every single player that's laced up today, they're going out to win. And make no mistake, there's not any team up there that's going to shy away from a challenge today. They've trained hard all year. They've trained hard all week to get to today. And some of those guys will finish playing today because they won't be going any further. And, they'll want to go out on a high note. So good luck to everybody, and looking forward to how it all unfolds over the next 80 minutes.
Okay, we'll bring up the team list now and talk you through how they will take the field. As you can see on screen there, the Roop Rooster, one of the trophies on the line today. Of course, Rukatai Shield will be presented as well. We'll start with the home team, the minor premiers. Peter Olivetti will be the fullback. Watch for Royden Gillett in the centres. He brings a lot of experience and he's a really good defender, brings a lot in attack as well. Carlos Hortony is the big danger man. He's got great footwork in the halves and really leads this team around nicely. He's got a good kicking game as well, which could be quite important, particularly in today's conditions. Tony Tuia has the C next to his name with Jethro Friend out. Reece Charlie will assume the job at number 9. He's a more than capable dummy half, and a huge in just before kickoff here. Clayton Williams, who I believe was 18th man for the Warriors Cup side, he's released back to play for the Howick Hornets, so that is a huge plus for the Hornets. We called him a couple of weeks ago. He was absolutely outstanding. Scott Jones moves into the back row. He's been used more in the middle so far this year. And then on the bench, Nahu Main, Tapsell, Trent Bishop, and Pulipaki. So it's a strong team for the Howick Hornets. A look at Mount Albert, and Lilenga will be the fullback, Sita and Petty on the wings. And I like this halves combination. Young Ackland and Trent Wallace, a nice mix of experience and youthful exuberance there. Stella Faliluamalio is the frontline forward. He will have a big role today. Hoani Rogers-Brown is the man at number 13, and then the bench is a pretty good one as well. Johnny Faliluamalio really leading the way there, and Amoni Tafui, he's named in the 18. We'll see if he starts or not in the front row. And they're coached by Sean Clark for Howick and John Ackland for Mount Albert.
So the excitement's starting to mount now as Mount Albert arrive to the halfway mark. And here come the Hornets out of the nest, the changing rooms, and looks like everyone's getting geared up for a biggie. Fantastic day for rugby league, so if you are in the area, get down here. We're getting ready for a massive match of rugby league here for the SAS Fox Memorial. And you can see some of the Hornets on screen now, just as they get to the halfway mark to face up and front off to the people they're hosting here today, the Mount Albert Lions. Big thank you to all the local sponsors here too. Without your support, and you heard Denny, the chairman, earlier today, giving them a wee bit of love. And each of the Howick's jerseys have been successful in getting sponsorships for this season, and done a really fine job. So there's big Tony Tuia on screen, and Corey, what's your feelings for today's vibe, mate?
Really excited for this one. It's one of the derbies I really look forward to. There's no love lost there. Of course, Tony Tuia, a former Mount Albert man as well. He enjoyed some success with this club before coming across to the Howick Hornets, so he'll be well and truly up for the match as well. And the battle in the middle will be a key one. Looking forward to seeing Tuia up against Faliluamalio. As we covered off, some real talent in the halves as well. Hortony versus Trent Wallace and Aidan Ackland. It's a close one when they played earlier this year. Howick Hornets got up, thanks to a little bit of Tony Tuia magic, to win the Root Rooster. Continue their winning ways. But it's a different looking team for the Hornets today. All the pressure really on them from that point of view. But there's still class spread throughout it. It's going to be a big game. Wouldn't Mount Albert dearly love to nick the Root Rooster away on the last day of the regular season off their bitter rivals? Here we go. 80 minutes to play in the regular season. Hortony gets us off, and it is fielded by Mount Albert, who will run the ball back towards the shop end here at Paparoa Park. Mount Albert, of course, first year back under coach John Ackland. Last year had a coaching by committee, really, a number involved, as well as Bluey McLennan and guys like Keith Hanley, Phil Gordon in the mix, Cody Walker. But it's certainly not hard to see the impact that John Ackland has had. He's really turned the culture around straight away. He's got them playing really good football, which was always going to be the case. Hitting the ball on the short line there is the captain, Palu. A good first set here, and Faliluamalio jumps out looking for an opportunity, kicks down towards the corner. It's a brilliant kick which will hold up and force Peter Olivetti into action. And as far as opening sets go, that may well be the best we've seen this year.
Oh, mate, that was clinical. Absolutely clinical. Boys were up-tempo, showing a lot of speed as Howick now getting ready to drop out behind their line. Yeah, no, couldn't ask for anything better than that. That was well done. Go the Mount Albert Lions.
So Hortony gets us back underway. A high one which Ackland is under. And with no big man in sight, he has to bring that one back himself. He's then taken down by Nahu Main. 25 out from the line. Falilo Amalio to Rogers Brown, runs it at Clayton Friend. Scott Jones comes in to help slow things down. Lots of pressure on here now. The Mount Albert Lions pushing hard. Wallace misses out Palu, instead finds the centre, Callum Moore. 5 out from the line now. Options left and right. They'll go centre field. Falilo Amalio bumping the ball forward, but Tony Tuia says you're going nowhere this time. Johnny jumps out now, kicks, hits the upright, try! Amoni Tafui. Just like that. Johnny Falilo Amalio, he forced a repeat set with a brilliant kick just a few minutes ago. And then this time aims for the upright, hits it, and the big man on hand to register first points of the day.
So on the Action SAS replay, we can see going for a quick play the ball here as they're trying to clear it from the ruck. And was that aimed? You'd have to say not bad, good target. And how's that? 4 points. We're 2 minutes gone. Try time, Lions are in, 4 points. And I'd say Daniel Sifuifa down there at the den will be very busy this afternoon.
There's no doubt about it. That was an intentional kick and a really, really clever play as well. We see it used in the NRL quite often, and why not? It's one of those things where when the ball stops just like that, everyone tends to overrun it in that time. Mount Albert on hand to clean it up. All right, Ackland adds the extras as well, and Mount Albert off to a flyer. 3.5 gone. It is the Lions who lead by 6-0 here in the big match. Root Rooster on the line, and for Mount Albert, potentially a top 2 spot on the line.
Yeah, everything to play for. Everybody wants to be 1 and 2. They get that extra life as we get down to the semi-finals. Big, strong support on the crowd, too, for the Howick Hornets on the hill. And we're very fortunate. Shane Price, the chairman's arrived on ground.
So Ackland fields it. Tafui, your try scorer, brings it back. He's had a really good year in Moni Tafui. Formed a good front row combination with Falilo Amalio. As Rory Ropati gets twisted awkwardly, eventually taken down. He's just short of the 30. Ackland becomes the acting half for a moment. Here's Salah. Holding on nicely down low, though, was Scott Jones. Palu. Looking for an offload. The captain instead gets taken down smack bam on halfway next to the hash mark. Last play coming up. Wallace will go high. A real tester here for Olivetti, who's under it. It's allowed to bounce. Pops up nicely in the end for Peter, who brings it back. And this is the Howick Hornets' first use of the football, with the game already 5 minutes old. See what Mount Albert have got now from a defensive point of view. You can already see the line speed fairly quick. Howick now moving play on down the left-hand side. This is Jazz Nahu Main, who's overcome a injury to take the field today. They are badly depleted, and you can see the knee is heavily strapped. Falilo Amalio taken out in back play. Reece Charlie handed the number 9 jersey today in the absence of Jethro Friend.
Oh, he's bobbled. Something's not right there.
Now Tuia's clutched straight for the head. That doesn't look great. We're going to have time off here.
He didn't muck around getting on his feet. Just as we're waiting for the young player to get attention there, and they're about to pack in, Richie Barnett's running for council, so check that out. Big plug for him. As the ball's about to be fed. Here we go.
Still trying to recover from you calling Tony Tui the young fella. I'm sure he'll be eternally grateful. Rory Ropati. Oh, good contact from Tony.
The young fella.
Young Tuia. Here's Sulla. Look at the contact. Listen to the hill erupt. Falilor Malio to Wallace. Wallace goes backdoor to Lilinga, who kicks. It pops up. Don't let Hortony get free. Eventually ends up with the ball in his hands and then gets taken down. Now Howick appeals for a penalty as Wallace works him over. Not forthcoming, and Scott Jones puts the head down and takes the ball forward. Just got that feeling today. Special game in the making here, I think. Here's Tuia. Bumps the ball forward. He's taken down 5 short of halfway. Charlie. Turn back in field. And they chew off 10 metres. Shot was perhaps a little high. Charlie. Prendergast. Olivetti. Dancing, looking for a gap. There's not one there, and he'll be taking the ground 30 out from the line. 7 gone. It's the Lions who lead by 6. Prendergast. High off the boot. Lilinga is under it. So are a couple of Hornets, but he takes it beautifully. And Clayton Williams on hand to quickly drive him back. That's a good set from the Howick Hornets. Wallace. Christian Petty now coming in and looking for a little bit of work. But look at the line speed from the Howick Hornets. Are up quickly. Struggling for yardage so far on this set here, Mount Albert. Need a couple of big carries. Clayton Williams up quickly. I think it's Rogers Brown it is. Ackland. Ackland will kick. It's a long one, and that's a brilliant kick from Aiden Ackland. Up over the top. Is it going to hold up? Oh,
Brilliant.
Remarkable.
Look at
And
the chase.
Olivetti now looks up, sees a staggered line and brings it back. Plenty to admire in that one. That kick from Aiden Ackland. Pinpoint accurate. Got an in behind winger and fullback.
Oh! The Lions, D, they're superb. They chased up really well. Some of the Hornets boys were still getting back.
Royden Gillett, former Mount Albert man himself, won a 9s title with them. Before returning to Howick. Charlie, it's messy. It's play on though.
Oh!
And that was bad. That didn't look good.
Yeah, one of the players from the opposition checking him out straight away. That's going to stop the clock.
It's Brandon Lee who's down on the ground. He sort of got twisted in half. And when I say it was bad, there's no suggestion of foul play in there. It was just one of those awkward tackles.
Body contact, and it was bodies going one way and the tackler was going the other way. And picking up some audio there. No. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all of the footage today will be up on the ARL TV YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get to that through www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Scrum getting reset as we get ready for packing in. Clock back on.
Apologies if you're picking up a bit of the clicking in the background as we address a couple of audio issues. Wallace. Callum Moore. Former Ponsonby Rugby Union man. A good pickup for the Mount Albert Lions. Lilinga into dummy half. Comes centre field where he finds Dalton Healy. Falilor Malio to Ackland. Ackland looping ball over the top. Space on the right edge now perhaps for Mount Albert. But Howick scrambled nicely. Royden Gillett, the key man there. Sita. Ackland. Good low down tackle there from Brandon Lee. Falilua Malio. They go right edge. Ackland dribbles the kick in behind. Pops up for Albrecht, though, who bumps out of one and then looks to return the football. He will be taken down about 7 metres out from the line, told to go back and do that one again. So real ferocious pace building in this game. It's on both sides of the football. This will help the Howick Hornets. A penalty out of trouble. So Hortony to kick for touch. You see in the background there, Jethro Friend running the water today. I'm sure he'll be doing plenty of talking out there, organising the troops. It's like Johnny Vuiti Bowles, the other trainer as well. So they're well blessed in those stocks today, the Howick Hornets. Tuia takes it forward, but he's met well by Rogers Brown. Ackland comes down low to finish the play off. Ropati in there as well. Reese Charlie goes to Prendergast. Prendergast, now they're going to work the left edge. Olivetti looking for a little gap in the line, and the ball's come loose there. Now, was that a strip? Yes, it was.
Back-to-back penalties. Certainly going to help the Hornets as they progress down the field.
So Hortonite puts that one safely into touch. Good crowd down here, particularly on a cold and windy Auckland day. Filled the hill, as they always do here at Paparoa Park. Charlie to Prendergast. Prendergast, dummies to Tuia. Prendergast just about goes through himself. Quick play of the ball now. It's messy. It's another penalty. 3 in a row.
Back to 2.
Talking to going on here, and my apologies, you may not be picking up the referee's audio right now, as I alluded to earlier. A couple of audio issues that we're dealing with. Hope to bring you that again soon. So Charlie to Bishop. Bishop goes out the back to Hortony. Olivetti gets rushed though. Nice up and in tackle from Christian Petty. 10 out from the line now. Hortony, a looping ball to Bishop. Bishop goes straight and hard towards the SAS uprights. They're not far out now, the Howick Hornets, looking to lock the game back up. Falilua Malio gets tangled. Charlie, Hortony, short ball to Scott Jones, who wants an offload. There's no one there, though, from the Hornets. And that play fizzles out. 12 and a half gone. It's the Lions who lead by 6. Here's Tuia! Tony Tuia! Too big, too strong. Hits back for the Hornets. 6-4, kick to come.
Catch the SAS action replay here. Off the back of 2 penalties heading down into the Lions territory. And we see a little drop back on the inside to the big guy. And he's a fantastic pathfinder. He knows where the try line is as he carries 1, 2, 3, 4th defender hanging off. Try time. Hornets are on the board. 4 points.
So Scott Jones, it will be to attempt the conversion. Former Vodafone Warriors under 20s player. Spent a fair bit of time over in Canberra and WA.
Pete's filming in goal action today down here at the park as we get some of the close-up action throughout today's play.
Flags up, kick good. We're locked up at 6 points apiece. 14 and a half gone here at Paparoa Park with the Root Rooster on the line. Howard Cornets will be presented with the Rukatai Shield at the conclusion of the match. ARL Chairman Shane Price down here to dish that one out. And as a result, we've certainly come out in numbers today to support the club. It's been one of their most successful years already at First Division level, but as Coach Sean Clark alluded to, it will mean nothing if they don't bring the Fox home. Here's Tuia, the try scorer. Straight back at them.
Good tackle there by Rory Rapati. Put a shoulder on.
It's Trent Bishop. Another with some experience with Mount Albert. Charlie. Clayton Williams. Clayton Williams, great carry. Finds his front as well. Look how quick that play the ball was. And as a result, Reece Charlie gets out and has a field day at dummy half. A masterclass in front row play there from Clayton Williams. Prendergast now looks to the heavens. A tester. Plenty of Howard players under it, but Corey Sita does brilliantly in the end. Takes it. Hang on. Knock on the call. So scrum to pack down. Referee Elliott on hand to make the decision. So Prendergast with the feed. Goes out to Hortony at first receiver. Gets the feet going and then links with the winger. This is Louis Tussa. Quick play of the ball. Reece Charlie. Charlie to Olivetti. Olivetti palms off one, then straightens and gets taken to ground by opposite number Lilinga. 5 short of the line now. Charlie with a low driven pass. Bishop will take a settler in front of the uprights. Charlie to Tuia. Tuia, nice little short ball. Williams goes close. A front row play. Charlie. Prendergast. Mount Albert line up quickly though. It's good defense from the visitors. Nahu Main with the play of the ball. Gillett comes centre field. Hortony with the footwork. Kicks in behind. Was he taken out off the ball? It's not going to matter. They're going to get the ball back here. Flicked out now. There's space on the left edge. Royden Gillett looking to isolate his winger. Stepping back in field is Albrecht. Back to Gillett and then Falilor Malio gets there. Well, that was a frantic couple of seconds. Bishop. Burrowed low but was fooling no one, namely Rory Ropati. Prendergast to Hortony. He's got Olivetti on his shoulder. Instead, we'll go looping over the top. It's a little bit messy and cleaned up by Tussa. He then goes back in field. Falilor Malio holds on down low. This is good defense from Mount Albert. Very committed on their line. Here's Williams. Clayton Williams will go close, but there's plenty of yellow jerseys there and they hold him up. He's just short anyway. Charlie now comes centre field. Tuia to Prendergast. Prendergast to Nahu Main. Look at the scramble from Mount Albert. Gillett looking for a quick play of the ball. Told he's milking the penalty. Change of direction now. Looking to isolate down this side. This is messy. I think that's off Mount Albert. Goal line, the call. So goal line dropout coming up. Another set here for the Howard Hornets. Well, in fact, I could have sworn the touchy pointed for a dropout, but maybe that's been overcalled by referee Elliott, so it's going to be a Mount Albert ball. May have been a Mount Albert touch in there, but anyway, fish and chip paper now, and we're back into it. The Lions rucking the ball out. Did so well to hold on there. It was back-to-back sets on their own line. They made some really good reads along the way. Falilor Malio to Rogers Brown, the Auckland Māori representative. Wallace will kick early in the set. It's a booming kick down to the end goal. Don't tell me it's another one that's going to set up. Wow. Olivetti brings it back. The kicking game so far, brilliant from both Wallace and young Aidan Eklund.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Aidan Eklund certainly pulled off a couple of pearlers today. Just a little bit of a half break on, still running.
Jesse Albrecht looking for opportunities. Well, finishes with a knock on. That wasn't the opportunity he was looking for. Go back for a Mount Albert scrum here. So well intentioned, but Albrecht comes up with the mistake. Just looking on screen there, Aidan Eklund getting a bit of attention from the trainer and back play. He looks okay though.
Lions to feed.
So they're waiting for
Maybe not.
Howick to get a half here. The scrum isn't correctly formed until there's a half, so Scott Jones says, well, I'll give it a go. So at the end of all that, we will get a feed. It's going to be Falilo Malio and Eklund to retrieve from the back. They'll head straight up to the right edge via Wheneanga Nofo. Eklund, centre field to Tafui, the man who opened the try scoring. Set heavy to the left here are Mount Albert. Brother to brother, Falilo Malio to Wallace. Lelenga chimes into the back line. Hortene slipped. Lelenga breaks out of one, breaks out of two. Lelenga goes all the way for Mount Albert's second. Survived a long period, camped on their own line. Got down this end, and first opportunity for more points. Mount Albert Lions take full advantage via Lelenga.
On the SAS Sporting replay here, what fabulous footwork it is. Drops it to the back door, the vertical sidestep. Came off one, started on that one, split the two defenders, went through and basically shrugged the last two off. Had enough momentum to get him across for 4 points, but look at the attitude here getting up. He knows what this means to the team. Boom, 4 points.
So Mount Albert back in front. 10-6, kick to come from Eklund. Lelenga started the year with Mangere East. We saw him in action at the SportSafe ARL9s. Really good athlete at the back, and you could see all of the power that time.
Sorry, mate, I've been listening to the trainers chat out there for the Lions. Waved away. And he's told them it's going to be a tight game. We've got our hand in the fire, boys. So we need to have a wee bit of patience. And I think it is going to be a tight match, a bit of a tussle between the two teams. And at this point, Lions are all right with their reply. It goes to 10-6. Let's see what the Howick Hornets have got up their sleeves. The captain's having a chat with the referee there, and he's just thanked him and said everything's okay, you're coming along nicely.
So Hortene to get us back underway. Bit of a breeze starting to come up here at Paparoa Park as well. Nothing too major. Watch that as it progresses. It can turn quickly here. So off the back fence now, Kali Kali. A real unit, this guy. Eklund to Rogers Brown.
He's out.
Hawani gets rid of the first line and then goes searching for more opportunities. He's another of the Mount Albert Lions in this squad and does well that time to earn the penalty. Royden Gillett says, who me?
Mount Albert definitely playing up tempo, aren't they? Got a pretty quick rhythm about them here today at the Hornets' Nest. Choose off a few metres.
So here's Big Sulla. Found success pretty much every time they've been down this neck of the woods so far. Cully, quick play of the ball. Falilor Malio to Ackland and Rogers Brown, who has been busy on the football early, Hoani. Ball spills loose now. Was that stripped? No. Knock on the call. So Howick dodge a bullet. Scrum will pack down now. They get back on the ball. It's a good point you make about Mount Albert playing up-tempo, Troy, and I think crucially off the back of that, they've really been able to restrict what Howick's doing out of the backfield simply with those kicks, which are finding grass and staying in the field of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're working really hard on the defence too. You know, that one of the big, long, deep kicks. All the team in gold were down there. And everyone was running at full tit to make that happen. That was tilt. I'm pretty sure it was tilt.
We'll wait for the string of email complaints. Howick now rucking the ball forward. Here's Trent Bishop. Hortony set to the right. Instead, Charlie will go himself and then gets hit by Falilor Malio. Hortony to Tuia. Tuia runs it at Ropati. And then joining in down low was Mitui Kalikali. Nahu Main. 35 short of the line now, the Howick Hornets. 26 gone. It is the Lions who lead by 4. Prendergast. Tuia has to duck and then it goes to Hortony. Hortony looks high. Pressure on here for Lilinga, who takes it beautifully. Plenty of Howick jerseys there, and it won't matter though. He'll shake out of the first one. Now that shot looked high, but there was nothing too sinister in that. Mount Albert now spread the ball. This is Callum Moore. Louis Tussa, the man to take him to ground. Mount Albert, of course, come off a big victory last weekend. Way too classy for the Maris Saints. Hoani Rogers Brown now breaks free. Royden Gillett does well to reel him in. He's having a well of a game so far as Rogers Brown. Quick play the ball now. Fraser, left edge. They come now, the Mount Albert Lions. They've got a little bit of momentum going here, and Howick will do well to hold on. Fraser to Ackland. Ackland a looping ball over the top. Space now perhaps on the right-hand side. Pops the ball out. Corey Sita! It's another one for the Lions. Corey Sita finds space on the right edge. Runs it around to improve the kick positioning. And the Lions on fire as it stands.
SAS Sporting replay. This went coast to coast. Look at that pass from young Ackland. Cut out half the back line. A little wee bit of a jink step on here. Managed to hold up inside. Winger was brought in, crowded the space to the outside edge. 4 points. And again, aren't these Lions pumped up? Look at them. Attitude, loving it.
It's a good play, and you could see they'd pulled Albred in to help out defensively. And as a result, once Sita got the ball, it was always try time. You could almost see it on his face as soon as he got the football. He knew he was over. So we wait for the kick to come. 14-6 lead pending that as we approach the half-hour mark. But really another set where Hoani Rogers Brown had a key role to play there. Some of his carries have been outstanding. He's producing a little bit of footwork at the line, which is causing issues for Howick right now. So Ackland to attempt the conversion right up against the sideline. Thankfully in front of his own supporters by the look of it.
There's big, strong support for the Hornets, isn't there?
So Ackland
There
to
it
a
is.
chorus of boos. It will not matter. Flags go up. Mount Albert lead
trainers
by
loving
10.
it too, mate.
29 gone now. Cully off the back fence. Mount Albert appeals for a high shot. Ackland. Rogers Brown. We're going through the line this time. Marcus Fraser, a vastly experienced presence at number 9, and I really like that hooking combination they got this year. Johnny Faliloa-Malio, a real excitement machine. Marcus Fraser, speaking of excitement machines, jumps out, steals 15 or so meters. Wallace is now the dummy half. They're only 40 out from the line now. Wallace links to his left with Dalton Healy. Last play coming up. Fraser will kick. The wing is not back, and now this is going to hold up. Another great kick. It plays to Olivetti. Well, I don't know how much Sean Clark will have appreciated that pass, but anyway, they got away with it. Olivetti steps into touch. Back-to-back sets coming up now for the Mount Albert Lions, and once again, a pinpoint accurate kick to finish a really good set with the football.
Yeah, they're being absolutely clinical today, aren't they? Hornets getting back for another reset. And this is the third time we've seen them drop out from in goal. You can see the points in the background there, 16 to the visitors.
So Hortony sends it down towards the sideline. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. Touchy Corey Jewell right on top of it. They'll do well to hold on here with the Howick Hornets. Cully pops the offload as well.
Proven a handful today, isn't he? Both of them are. Good strong wrestle there to get him down.
It's Fraser to Ackland, to Wallace, to Faliloa-Malio, who wanted a basketball pass and then in the end dropped it. That was unfortunate that time, Suller. It was probably on if he got the offload away. There was space on the left edge, but the ball comes loose and the Howick Hornets will dodge a bullet. They'll pack down a scrum here about
on the 10.
Maybe 10 out from the line, yep. I'm trying to get my bearings there. So Hortony feeds the scrum, and the Hornets get back to work with 8 minutes to go in the first half. They trail by 10, and it's really been Mount Albert's game for the most part thus far. Olivetti. Good defense from Ackland, although the offload gets popped. Look at this from Mount Albert. Prendergast eventually wrestled to ground. Now they work the ball forward, and I think this is the 11, Hurricane Roberts. Here's Williams, Clayton Williams. That's a great carry. And Mount Albert do well to slow him down. It's his quick play of the ball, which is his biggest threat after those carries. Here's big Troy Pulipaki. Brilliant as a teenager last year. Mount Wellington Jr. Hortony kicks across the body and high, but it's an easy one for Lilinga to take. And then power spins out of the first, shakes out of another. Thread in the offload, but held on to the football. Trent Wallace now rushes the dummy half, and the back line get involved in the yardage work. Wallace to Callett Moore. Breaks through the middle. He's got support on his inside. That support may have been taken out there, but there's a knock on anyway. Hand over ball.
That diffused a wee bit of danger, didn't it?
One thing that sort of emerged so far through the first half, Mount Albert seemed to have just a fairly basic plan today, but one that they're executing to perfection right now, just nailing all the little things that are getting them where they are so far with this 10-point lead.
Yeah, and I think they've got a wee bit of pace on them too. I think the up tempo-ness, they've got some certain building great momentum. And I was just thinking about as that ball gets fed in the scrum there. Just a little bit more patience. They get a couple of those passes to stick. I think we're going to see some more tries today.
5.5 to play in the first half. The final round of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. What a year it's been, and it's only going to get better. The cream will have risen to the top by the end of the day. And to be fair, there's 6 teams who could have genuinely competed for the title this year, I would say. Only 4 can progress, and the only one short of that thus far is the Howick Hornets. Olivetti to Pulipaki. Pulipaki goes straight and hard, offloads off the ground, called back and told to do that again. And in fact, this may be a handover here. It will be. Ruled to have offloaded from the ground. So Mount Albert get the ball back. It's definitely the correct call by the look of it. Pulipaki had certainly been tackled by the time that ball came loose. It's looking in back play there. The trainer again on the field. And Rogers Brown going for a spell. So fresh legs on the park in the middle for Mount Albert. And he'll get straight into it as well. This is the number 16, Sione Talisa. Roy Ropati, who's had some nice touches through the opening exchanges, worked really hard in defense as well. Fraser to Falilo Malio. Salah will go straight. Taken down just short of halfway. Ackland calling the shots out the back. Fraser will go his direction, and Talisa has another carry, so keen to get amongst the work early after coming on for Rogers Brown a few seconds ago. Fraser goes to Wallace. Wallace kicks across the body. Chase coming through from Lilinga. Look out. Foot race on. Olivetti gets there. Now, did Lilinga get a check on the way? Yes, he did. Great call from referee Elliott.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Bit of a set 2 on and back play.
Now, in my view, this will be something that John won't want his team to get him involved with. He'll want them to keep playing clinical rugby league. However, for the Hornets, this might be something just to rattle the chain a little bit, unhinge a couple of the younger players. They'll split apart.
Yeah, maybe. They don't look too rattled though, do they? There's a couple of smiling faces in there. Maybe Mount Albert will enjoy it as much as anyone. I think the end result will be a Mount Albert penalty here unless there's something else that's happened. And unfortunately, still not getting that referee audio, so won't be able to pick that up. But we'll do our best to decode that. There's going to be no other action taken. It's going to be a penalty for running off the ball, and Mount Albert will now look to the sticks and take this out to an 18-6 lead. This is a good call at this stage of the game as we approach the back end of the half. It means Howick go back within, 2 converted tries of being able to tie the ball game up.
It's been a super fast 37 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it has, and a really high-quality game. And, you know, let's not forget this is first, second on the ladder. I know there's some injuries out there, but this is the 2 best teams in the comp as it stands. So Ackland, chance to make it 18, and he should have no problem from here. Flags up. So we may get a set in. I'm sure the Howick Hornets won't be in too much of a rush. So back to it. Hortony goes high and short, fielded by Lilinga. Having a really good game so far. Another tackle break, and now goes through the middle. Oh, he had Ackland on his shoulder. That could have got exciting for a second there. Fraser. Talisa now bumps the ball forward. Howick need to get to half time here. Mount Albert threatening another strike before the break. Fraser wants a quick play of the ball. Goes to his right. Links with Cully, who drives those legs, but he's well contained that time. They're up quickly on in the Howick Hornets. Fraser to Ackland. Ackland dinks a little kick over the top. Albrecht's around on top of it and will run that one over the sideline. And we will go to Oranges with the Mount Albert Lions up 18 points to 6 over the Howick Hornets in today's Root Rooster Challenge, the final game of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership regular season. A short break for us before we resume with the second half action here at Paparoa Park.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of ARL TV News. Let's take a look at what's happening around the grounds. Glenora hosted a match charity fundraiser, finals kickoff and our live stream action. Glenora fundraiser. The Glenora Bears hosted a match charity fundraiser on Saturday, raising funds for Iron Hope. They played Northcote before an event at the club. Catch a wrap of the event at aucklandleague.co.nz. Finals kickoff. The first finals of August kick off this weekend at Mount Smart Stadium number 2. 10 grand finals will be played, with 3 of those to be live streamed. Catch it live at aucklandleague.co.nz. Live stream action. Howick will be presented with the Rukatai Shield as winners of the regular season, but the Root Rooster Trophy will be on the line when they take on Mount Albert. Tune in live from 2:30 p.m. at aucklandleague.co.nz. Now we're going to throw away to some highlights.
Toll. Looping ball over the top. Space on the right edge now, and we have our first try. Joshua Tufunga. Toll. Goes high, misses Connell. Ball loose, it's going for a second. In the play of the ball, here's Toll. Goes wide, I think that's Henry. Gets the offload away, and we got a try in the corner. Pukakoi in for another one. The Pythons are on fire. There's the confirmation. Fishiahi calling numbers across in defence. Instead they'll go down the right side and burrowing low. Jason Toll. They lose yardage on that play. They're trying to get to the points of the field where they want to. Bunce, looping ball over the top. Beautiful from Bunce. Well, Henry. Henry goes back in field. Jody Henry will go close. Taken down just short of the line. Brown rushes the dummy half. The Eagles quick to get there. Oh! Picked off. Bunce is off to the races. Bunce into open space. There's cover coming across. Will they get there? I don't think they will. Bunce. 10 metres to go, chance Bunce will run it in. What a play in this game. Back out to 6 points, and it will be Ruben Tolavai, last year's Shaman Cup Player of the Year.
We had Tonga the year before, so hopefully we get to see a lot more of those clashes and the blue and white jumper out for Auckland Rugby League.
Flags go up, we're back to a 6-point ball game. Bunce.
Shot!
Links out the back to Fishiahi. Quick hands. Another Eagles try. They're right back in it now. The Ellerslie Eagles. It's Marcel Connell who scores on the left-hand side. Henry. Looping ball over the top into a little bit of space down the left-hand side, and the Pythons are in.
Wait for it. Try awarded.
Royden Tupaia. Footwork. He gets rushed. Has to play it. It might be on now down the left-hand side. Kingy! There it is! Darren Kingy. Will shift play on, then goes to Kingy. The right-hand side pops out to Tua, and Tua now away down the right-hand edge. Looking to kick back in field. The ball goes down. The game is over. Pukakoi win. 28 points to 16 over the Ellerslie Eagles. Given the weather and the field was fairly ripped up, how important were your middle forwards today? Because there were some big numbers from those boys.
Yeah, the boys had to push hard. A lot of us play 82 in the middle, and we just had to dig deep. It was like they were coming up our middle a lot too, and they found some weaknesses in us in the middle, but we dug through and we came back.
From the Aussie Eagles, well, Isaac, such a brave effort from your team today. Obviously, the send-off didn't help at the end there, but you must be very proud.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a brave bunch of guys out there. This week especially, we had quite a lot of changes, but to pull through like that and take a quality team like Pookie 80 minutes, it's definitely a testament to our team this year.
Welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at the Premiership ladders to the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. Papakura take the top spot, followed by Bay Roskill and Te Atatū and Richmond sit in third and fourth. To the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder, Howick still remain at the top, followed by Northcote and Mount Albert, and Glenora take the third and fourth spot. That's all this week. I'm Savannah Tufau-Levy. Thanks for joining us.